I have a question. Are you a judge? You don't have any jurisdiction over me. I would argue you don't have any jurisdiction, okay? No, I'm Anthony Mathis, the living man, here in special appearance for Anthony Winston Mathis, also acting in my proper capacity of the trustee of the trust. If the plaintiff cannot come to court, then this shall be dismissed. That's failure.
Or
I
you may
object. I
walk
will
a
not be
cash
paying
check or
any fine.
charge into the
I will not be
44th
paying
District
any fine.
Court. Please don't interrupt the court.
All right, folks, buckle up, because today's courtroom hearing is one of those moments where you just have to sit back, shake your head, and wonder what on earth is going on. This one stars a sovereign citizen who believes he's cracked the code of the universe, and that somehow
Winston Mathis?
No, I'm Anthony Mathis, the living man, here in special appearance for Anthony Winston Mathis, also acting in my proper capacity of the trustee of the trust.
Very well, Mr. Mathis. Today's the date and time for your informal hearing. The citation before the court, Mr. Mathis, indicates that on May the 24th of this year at approximately 9 p.m., you are operating a 2024 Ford Edge, black in color, on 11 Mile Road, air near Washington, in the city of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, you committed the civil infraction of impeding traffic. Impeding traffic, sir, is considered a lesser included offense within nearly any moving violation. And Officer Moran indicates in his detailed note that your vehicle was on East 11 Mile Road at Washington and disobeyed the traffic signal. The officer had a green arrow and therefore driver had a red light. Mr. Mathis, you have three options and three options only, sir, in the protection of your own rights. You may, sir, admit responsibility in this matter. The court will attach the scheduled fine and that will close the case. Or, Mr. Mathis, you may admit responsibility with an explanation that you believe mitigates these circumstances, or you have every right to deny responsibility and the court will swear the parties and will take testimony. What would you like the court to do for you today?
Well, I have a few questions, if you don't mind.
The court does mind. You need to make a plea. I am required by
No,
law.
I don't plead to anybody. I only plead to the Most High. Who are you?
I am Magistrate William Urick, P43273. I am a sworn judicial officer of this district. We are here for your informal hearing that you requested. This court is required by law, procedure, and court rule to take a plea. The motorist requesting this informal hearing, that being you, must make such a plea. You may admit responsibility in this matter.
I don't plead to anybody but God.
You may admit with an explanation, or you may deny responsibility, and the court will swear the parties and will take proofs. What would you have the court do for you today?
I don't plead to anybody.
Very well. Officer Moran and Mr. Mathis, please raise your right hands.
I do have a question.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you very much.
he's immune from traffic laws. Spoiler alert, he's not. The hearing kicks off with the judge calmly asking a simple question, confirming the defendant's name, and right away,
May 24, 2024, at approximately 9 p.m., I, Officer Moran, was in the area of East 11 Mile in Washington when I observed 2024 Ford Edge, black in color, with Michigan plate Edward John Lincoln 6501. I was at the light at East 11 in Washington when I had the green arrow to turn. That vehicle then proceeded through the light. As I looked up at the traffic light, that light was red for that driver.
With respect to your selection of citation, you elected to simply issue a ticket for impeding traffic. Is that correct?
I did, Magistrate, at that
And
time.
that's based on your discretion, your training, and your experience.
It is.
Thank you. You obviously have the right to rebuttal if you choose to use it, Officer Moran. Mr. Mathis, it is now your turn. What would you like the court to know, sir?
I have a question. Are you a judge?
Mr. Mathis, the court has already indicated it is a sworn judicial officer. It is exercising its jurisdiction lawfully over you. So questioning the court's authority.
You don't have any jurisdiction over me. I would argue you don't have any jurisdiction. Okay.
Mr. Mathis, the officer has already testified as to the facts of the case. It is now your turn to testify. You can tell the court anything you wish the court to know, focusing solely on the events of the date in question. What would you like to tell the court?
The plaintiff is the city of Royal Oak. Please bring the city of Royal Oak. Where's the city of Royal Oak?
Way, things go off the rails. The judge says, "Are you Anthony Winston Mattis?" And this guy, with a straight face, responds, "Oh, no, I'm Anthony Mattis, the living man, here in special..."
The officer is representing the city of Royal Oak, sir.
Where's the city of Royal Oak?
Are you asking where it is geographically? Or
Where's
are
the
you
city?
asking where it is in
Right
terms
now.
of who's present on behalf of the city of Royal Oak?
Where is the city of Royal Oak? Please bring the
Court
city.
doesn't understand your question. Are you asking where it is on a map or where is the officer?
No, I know exactly where it is on
Okay.
the geographic location, but where are they right now?
The officer is representing the city of Royal Oak as a sworn and certified Michigan peace officer. So what else would you like to tell the court, Mr. Mathis? And please, again, the court suggests that you focus on the events of the date in question.
Okay. Well, could you please bring forth the injured party? Was anybody injured?
This is not a tort case, Mr. Mathis. It is a case written
Well,
under the vehicle code
as I
of the
was
city of
traveling,
Royal Oak as it is adopted.
as I was traveling, the officer turned on the lights. No one was injured. So please bring forth the injured party. Based on the Constitution, the Sixth Amendment right, I have a right to face my accuser. If the plaintiff cannot come to court, then this shall be dismissed.
Mr. Mathis, is there anything else you wish the court to know?
Please bring forth the injured party. If you can't bring forth the injured party, then this needs to be dismissed now.
Mr. Mathis, is there anything else you wish the court to know?
You guys can't bring anyone forward. As far as the injured party, no one was injured. You guys
Mr. Mathis, I will ask you one more time. The officer is representing the city of Royal Oak. This is not a case alleging physical harm or breach of contract.
Why are you trying to charge me?
This is a civil case
Why are you
under
trying
the
to
motor
charge
vehicle
me?
code as it was decriminalized in 1979. This is a civil matter. The burden of proof is a preponderance of the evidence. The officer has testified as to what he observed, and it is now your turn to testify as to what occurred. There is no requirement under the rules of procedure, civil, in this operation as of today, that requires a quote unquote injured party to be present. The officer has stated very clearly and fairly and plainly what he observed that day. So as to your testimony related to the date in question, is there anything else you would like the court to know?
No, it isn't. If you guys can't bring any injured party,
Very
no
well.
one was injured. You guys are
Officer Moran, any rebuttal testimony?
No rebuttal testimony.
Thank you so much. Mr. Mathis, the burden of proof in a civil case is a mere preponderance of the evidence. The officer, a duly sworn and certified Michigan peace officer representing the city of Royal Oak, which is one of two cities upon which this court has jurisdiction, has put his testimony forward. There is nothing in the record that has rebutted any of it. Therefore, the court is finding you responsible for the citation as it was written. The fine for that serves $175. That is payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website, or you may walk a cash check or charge into the 44th District Court. Please don't interrupt the court, sir. You may walk a cash check or charge into the 44th District Court at 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday, between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 7 days, Mr. Mathis. If you take exception to the court's ruling, you may post a bond in the amount of $175 within 7 days, and the matter will be placed upon the formal hearing docket of the chief judge of the district, and at that time, the city of Royal Oak would be represented by a
Appearance for Anthony Winston Mattis, acting in my proper capacity as trustee of the trust. Oh boy. You can already feel the judge's patience being tested. The courtroom falls into that awkward silence. You know, the one where you just know this is about to be a long day. The judge keeps his cool, though. He explains the situation clearly, that this is an informal hearing for a traffic citation, specifically for impeding traffic after the defendant ran a red light. Straightforward case, right? The officer saw it happen, took notes, issued a ticket. But of course, our living man doesn't think the laws of the road apply to him. Now, the judge gives him his three legal options: admit responsibility, admit with explanation, or deny and go to testimony. But instead of answering, this guy tries to turn the hearing into a constitutional debate. He says, "I have a few questions if you don't mind." And the judge, already tired of the back and forth, tells him plainly, "The court does mind. You need to make a plea." But this guy, of course, doubles down. "I don't plead to anybody. I only plead to the Most High." And at that point, the judge knows exactly what kind of nonsense he's dealing with. He identifies himself clearly, a sworn judicial officer following the law and the court's procedures, but it doesn't matter. The man keeps repeating, "I don't plead to anybody." So the judge moves right along and calls the officer for testimony. And I have to say, this judge's composure is impressive. He doesn't raise his voice, doesn't argue, just does his job. It's like watching a professional handle a child's tantrum with quiet authority. The officer testifies calmly. On May 24th, 2024, around 9 p.m., he saw the defendant drive straight through a red light while the officer himself had a green arrow. Clear as day. He even decided to give the guy a lesser charge, impeding traffic instead of running a red light. Honestly, that was generous. Then the judge turns back to the defendant and gives him a fair chance to speak. "Mr. Mattis, it's now your turn. What would you like the court to know?" And guess what he says? "So, I have a question. Are you a judge?" The judge, trying not to laugh, repeats that yes, he's a judicial officer with lawful jurisdiction. But the defendant's not done. "You don't have any jurisdiction over me," he says confidently, as if saying it out loud makes it true. At this point, you almost have to wonder, why even show up? If you truly believe the court has no authority, what are you doing in front of the judge on Zoom? These sovereign citizens always collapse under their own logic. They deny the court's power, while asking that same court to dismiss their case. It's bizarre, but the judge doesn't take the bait. He keeps redirecting him. "You may testify regarding the events of that day." But nope, this guy's on a different mission. He starts asking for the city of Royal Oak to be brought into the courtroom, demanding to see the plaintiff. The judge calmly explains that the officer is representing the city, but this guy just won't let it go. "No, no, bring forth the city of Royal Oak. Where is the injured party?" And this right here is where these cases always take a turn, because in their world, no one can be guilty unless there's a physical injury. But that's not how traffic law works. When you run a red light, you're endangering public safety. You don't need a car crash or a victim in a hospital to make it a violation. The state represents the people's safety, and that's enough. Still, this guy keeps pressing, demanding an injured party, asking to face his accuser, citing the Sixth Amendment as if this is some kind of criminal trial. It's a civil infraction, not a murder case. The judge, though, calm as ever. He explains the law clearly, patiently, and professionally, while this man keeps talking in circles. And honestly, it's kind of satisfying to watch, because every attempt this guy makes to twist reality just gets quietly, methodically dismantled. Pause for cliffhanger. But just wait until you hear what happens when the judge finally delivers his verdict, and the sovereign citizen tries one last time to argue his way out. It's the perfect ending to this train wreck of a hearing. So now the judge has explained everything, calmly, professionally, and for what feels like the fifth time. But this defendant just refuses to hear it. He's locked into his own alternate reality, insisting that without an injured party, this whole thing must be dismissed. You can practically feel the judge's patience wearing thin, but he still doesn't lose his cool. He reminds the man that under Michigan law, traffic violations like this are civil matters. The injured party is the public. The violation is against public safety, not a specific person. Simple, right? But try explaining that to a sovereign citizen. It's like trying to teach a wall algebra. So the judge gives him one last opportunity to say something meaningful about the events that day. "Is there anything else you wish the court to know, Mr. Mattis?" And what does he do? He circles right back. "Bring forth the injured party. If no one was hurt, this needs to be dismissed." At this point, it's like watching a broken record skip over the same nonsense again and again. The officer just sits there, silent, probably wondering how this became his Tuesday morning. The judge, clearly done humoring him, sums it all up perfectly. He explains that the officer, as a sworn peace officer representing the city of Royal Oak, has testified credibly to what he saw. Nothing the defendant has said changes those facts. There's no contradiction, no evidence, no argument that holds water. So finally, after giving this man every possible chance, the judge rules. The court finds you responsible for the citation as written. $175 fine. Due within 7 days, and you can see the defendant trying to interrupt even now, like he's about to start another speech about contracts and trusts and living man rights. But the judge cuts him off, calmly but firmly. Please don't interrupt the court, sir. It's such a clean, professional takedown. No yelling, no sarcasm, just pure authority. The judge even goes on to tell him exactly how to pay. He can mail it, pay online, or visit the courthouse. And if he really wants to contest it, he can post a bond and have the matter moved to a formal hearing in front of the chief judge, where, by the way, an actual city prosecutor would show up. And right there, you can almost see the guy realizing he's out of road. Now let's talk about that $175 fine. Honestly, I think the judge handled it perfectly. It's fair, it's standard, and it sends the right message without escalating the circus. Because let's be honest, this judge could have easily held him in contempt for how many times he interrupted and refused to cooperate. And if he wanted to, that fine could have turned into jail time real quick. But instead, the judge chose professionalism over punishment. He didn't entertain the theatrics. He didn't argue or explain the same point 10 times. He just applied the law and moved on. That's how you handle a sovereign citizen. Not by matching their chaos, but by staying calm, consistent, and confident in the law. And honestly, that's what makes this hearing so satisfying to watch. Because this man came in thinking he'd outsmart the system, that he'd expose some imaginary legal loophole, and instead, he got a $175 reality check. The whole "I'm a living man" routine might work in his fantasy courtroom, but in real life? The state doesn't negotiate with delusions. So what do you think? Did the judge go easy on him, or should he have gone harder? Personally, I think the judge gave him exactly what he deserved. No drama, no debate, just a firm legal slap of reality. Because at the end of the day, traffic laws exist to keep people safe. And whether you call yourself a trustee of the trust or the living embodiment of the Constitution, a red light still means stop. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this guy truly believed what he was saying? Or was he just pretending to sound smart to dodge a ticket? Either way, it's another reminder that no one's above the law, no matter what title they invent for themselves.